Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Put yourself a cup, get cozy. I have something to tell you, but just between us. Having lived in apartments all my life, I always dreamed of a house, one with a yard, flower beds, and plenty of space. Every now and then, just to visualize that dream, I'd scroll through local real estate listings. My husband would peer over my shoulder, joining in the fantasy. We'd imagine our life there. Look at this one. This room would make a great playroom for a ping pong table, and we could put a gazebo in that corner of the yard. However, it never went beyond that. Part of me missed his old spontaneous streak. I wanted him to just flip a switch and say, "Grab the papers, bank, tomorrow, we're buying this place." But it was just a fantasy. A purchase like that meant being tied to a bank forever. There was no room for acting on a whim. But there was one listing which followed me for weeks, popping up in ads on almost every site I visited until I couldn't get the house out of my head. I loved everything about it: the location, the price, the layout, and that tiny, incredibly cozy yard. "Let's just go see it," I told my husband. I was secretly hoping that seeing it in person would reveal some deal breaker, something to scare me off so I could finally drop the whole thing. But when it turned out the agent was the same one who'd sold me my current apartment, these hopes turned to dust. I knew it was a sign. The house was mine. There would be no peace for me until I bought it. We toured it 3 times, peering into every corner, every crack and crevice. We practically became friends with the owner, a lovely elderly woman who, just like me, loved to knit and kept her home in impeccable order. If I'd had the cash, I would have pressed it into her hands right then and there. This was my home, and it was waiting for me. The feeling only grew stronger with every visit. But I didn't have that kind of money. The agent delicately asked how my husband and I planned to divide the ownership. The down payment was entirely mine. It was tied up in the apartment we were living in at the time. She subtly hinted that it would be wise to arrange a fair split beforehand, even if I trusted him completely. My husband went along with everything I planned, no arguments at all. "Fine, let's list the apartment. Fine, let's apply for the loan. I'll bring the proof of income from work. Fine, we'll make the payments. We'll have to cut back, but this is our home. We'll manage, right?" I was already mentally arranging the furniture while he was busy planning the garage layouts. The lovely owner, my fellow knitter, was waiting for the deposit, assuring us she'd wait as long as it took. She liked us and didn't want the house to go to anyone else. During that time, I spent long nights tossing and turning, wired and consumed by plans for our new life. There was so much to figure out, so much to organize. But at the very back of my mind, hidden fears began to crawl like persistent insects surfacing only in the dark. What if one of us gets sick or loses a job? What if he starts drinking more again? What if he... Stop. He hadn't given me any more reason to worry than usual. Our relationship was no better or worse than it had ever been. This was all in my head that was inflamed by endless planning, overloaded, overheated, and completely cluttered. We can't predict everything life throws at us. So what? Should we just be afraid to live? The agent called out of the blue, but I didn't suspect a thing. The buying process was already underway, and with so much paperwork to handle, I figured she just needed to double-check some details. I was pushing the stroller with one hand and holding the dog's leash in the other, so I casually tucked the phone between my ear and shoulder, convinced the conversation wouldn't take more than a minute. Katya, I'm sorry, I have some bad news. Her usual professional poise still didn't leave much room for panic. I mean, what could actually be that bad? Was there an issue with the house deed? Had some hidden co owners suddenly crawled out of the woodwork? My daughter tossed her George pig toy out of the stroller into a puddle and started wailing. Just then, the dog lunged toward a particularly interesting bush, jarring me so hard the phone nearly slipped to the ground. I had to hitch my shoulder even higher to catch it, making the neck throb with a dull ache. Katya, can you hear me? It's so noisy on your end. Yes, yes, I'm here. We're just out for a walk. So what's going on? The agent gave a barely audible sigh. Katya, she's decided to sell the house to someone else. The realization was still rolling in, a slow, ominous tsunami, complete with distant sirens and frantic shouting. Yet somehow I managed to keep my voice light and inquisitive. You mean they're paying cash? No, they're buying with a mortgage, just like you. But then why? My daughter was wailing now because the George pig she'd fished out of the puddle had turned a dismal shade of gray. The dog had unearthed something brown and shriveled from the grass and was chewing it with the businesslike melancholy of a cow, looking me dead in the eye. Are you going to take this away or not? Just a yard away, cars roared past. A horn shrieked, followed by a sudden splash of swearing. Katya, are you there? I don't know why. Honestly, everything was fine yesterday, but today it's like a switch flipped in her head. I tried talking to her, but it was no use. I am so sorry. Everyone was so sorry. The family, the bank officers, my husband, but none of them truly understood how I felt. It was as if I'd been running across a solid concrete bridge only for it to suddenly splinter and crack. Now it was crumbling right under my feet, snapping and popping like those persistent insects of fear in my head. And I just stood there, watching without even the strength to jump back. That was my home. I knew it then, and I still feel it now. It was mine, and I was locked out of it. A month later, Christmas arrived, heavy and bleak, with fake smiles plastered on for the photos. We sat his parents down under the tree and told them we were getting divorced. Right after the holiday dinner, I tossed 2 bulging suitcases into the car, strapped the child into her car seat, coaxed the dog into the crate, and headed to my parents' place for the rest of the Christmas break. We didn't need a new house anymore. I like to think that the sweet lady, the owner of my house, could already see something in us back then. Some invisible cracks in a bridge that seemed made of solid concrete. Or maybe she climbed inside my head and scraped out my darkest fears. Or perhaps she was just an impulsive old woman who had no idea what she was doing. Maybe it had nothing to do with her at all, but something saved me back then. I can feel it so clearly now. The divorce turned out to be inevitable. In the end, instead of a condo in my own name, I would have been stuck with half a house that couldn't be divided and a mountain of debt to pay off. My child, my dog, and I could have easily ended up on the street. Everything in its own time. I know that my future home is already waiting for me somewhere out there. Maybe it looks like the one I was supposed to move into. Maybe not. But I'll know it the second I find it, and I'm not going to stop looking. My cup is empty and it's time to get back to reality. Thank you so much for listening to my Tea Time Whispers.